Hello friends, in this video we will discuss about this formula number of subsets which is equals to 2 power n, where n is number of elements in the given set. We all know this formula, that is whenever we have to find the number of subsets then we can use this formula 2 power n. One thing what I want to discuss about this formula, that is we have one operator C which is known as combinational operator. You have to study about this combinational operator later in the chapter permutation and combination. But why right now I am discussing about this combinational operator? Because the proof of this result number of subsets 2 power n is related with this combinational operator. For the time being, just remember that suppose we have n number of elements and we have to select 0 elements out of n, then we can write this as nc0. Right now, why? Just I introduced you with this operator C, which is known as combinational operator. Combinational operator. We have to use this operator to select things out of given number of things. Okay, in detail you will study about this combinational operator in the chapter permutation and combination. For the time being, just remember, consider this as operator for selection out of given number of things. So what is the meaning of nc0? Selection of 0 things out of n things. So suppose we have to write selection of 1 things out of n things using this operator. How we will write? nc1. The meaning of nc1 is selection of 1 things out of n things. Okay, what we need to do with this? Suppose we have n elements and we have to find the number of subsets. Okay, for example, suppose we have A equals to 1, 2, 3 and we have to find the number of subsets. So you all know that empty set is subset of each set. So this is the first subset. Then we will find the subsets with 1 elements, that is you will write 1, 2, 3 like this. Then you will write element with 2 entries, that is 1, 2, okay, 2, 3, then 1, 3, fine now. Then we will write elements with 3 entries, that is 1, 2, 3. So how many subsets we have for this set A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So in total we have 8 subsets. We can find this directly using this formula 2 power n. N equals to 3 here, that is 2 power 3, which is equals to 8. So the number of subsets we can find directly using this formula. Now try to understand these symbols. What is the meaning of nc1? The meaning of nc1 is the n is 3, n is number of elements. If we will talk this result related to sets and number of subsets, then consider n as the number of elements in given set. So in this particular case, what is n? N is 3. So n is 3. We want to find that number of subsets when that subset contains 1 entry. How we will represent? 3c1. So just by writing 3c1, what it means? That we want to count the number of subsets with 1 entry only, and that is 3c1. Okay, in the same way we want to count the number of subsets with 2 entry. How we will write? 3c2. That means we are going to select 2 elements out of 3. In how many ways we can do this selection? That is the selection of 2 elements out of 3. These are the 3 elements. Selection of 2 elements out of 3. How we can do this? So we have C, combinational operator for selection. So we can write 3c2. That means we are going to select 2 members, 2 elements out of 3. 3c2. Then we have to find the number of subsets with 3 entries. How we can write this? We can write this as 3c3. This 3c3 provides us the number of subsets with 3 entries only. Okay. Now what about this empty set? This 5. What about this empty set? In this we have no entry, 0 elements. That means we are going to select 0 elements out of 3. So how we will represent it? 3C0. Now when we add all these 3C0 plus 3C1 plus 3C2 plus 3C3, when we add all these, because minimum we can select 0 and maximum we can select 3 out of 3 entry. So 3C0 plus 3C1 plus 3C2 plus 3C3. When we add all these outcomes, we will get 2 power n, that is 2 power 3 in this particular case, right? So in the same way, suppose we have n entries, then we can write nc0 plus nc1 plus nc2 plus nc3 plus nc4, and like this dot 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 dot. We can write nc n at last, whatever be n. At last we'll write ncn, just like in this case we have plus 3c3. So starting from nc0, nc1, nc2, nc3 and so on, we can add all this nc0 plus nc1 plus nc2 plus nc3 and like this, and dot 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 plus ncn. What is our outcome? The outcome is 2 power n, 2 power n. So this is one famous result related to the combinatorial operator, and which is used to derive the formula of number of subsets, that is 2 power n. In fact, this is the proof of this formula 2 power n, nc0 plus nc1 plus nc2 and up to ncn, that is 2 power n. Okay, so through this explanation, what is my purpose for students? That is just to introduce you with this formula. And what is application of this formula? Sometimes, suppose if we get some easy questions like find number of subsets, if number of element is 5, then find number of subsets, that is 2 power n, 2 power 5. If number of element is suppose 7, find number of subsets, so number of subsets is 2 power 7. That is easy to answer, we all know. But sometimes you will get question that find number of subsets which contains only 2 entries, or which contains at least 2 entries, which contains at most 2 entries. In such cases, we can use this formula, right now. So we can see that with one question here, one interesting question that we have. You can see this question. Let A and B be 2 sets containing 4 and 2 elements respectively. Then the number of subsets of the set A cross B, each having at least 3 elements is. Okay, try to solve this question first. Pause the video and try to solve this question, and after that you can see the explanation part, the solution part. Okay, so let us discuss solution for this question. Let A and B be 2 sets containing 4 and 2 elements respectively. Right now, that means in the question it is given that number of elements in set A is 4 and number of elements in set B is equals to 2. Right now, A and B be 2 sets containing 4 and 2 elements respectively. So for A we have 4 elements and for B we have 2 elements. So Na equals to 4 and Nb equals to 2. Now then the number of subsets of the set A cross B, each having at least 3 elements. So first of all we have to find the number of subsets of A cross B. So we must write number of elements in A cross B. So number of elements in A cross B is what? You all are familiar with this, Na cross B, how to handle it. Number of elements in A cross B means Na into Nb. Na into Nb. Always we'll write Na cross B as Na into Nb. What is Na here? Na is 4. So for Na we will write 4 and for Nb we will write 2. 4 into 2, that is equals to 8. So number of elements in A cross B equals to 8. That means total number of element is 8, and we have to find the number of subsets of set A cross B, each having at least 3 elements. That means when we will write all the entries for subsets, that is 8C0 plus 8C1 plus 8C2 like this, plus 8C3 plus 8C4 and so on up to 8C8. This is the total number of subsets, which is 2 power n, and in this case n is what? Number of elements is 8 in A cross B, so 2 power 8 right now. So first of all we are writing this equals to 2 power 8. That's why I discussed this combinatorial operator and its connection with 2 power n. Okay, now how to solve this question with this result? So first of all, this is the result for all the subsets, but in the question we have to find the number of subsets for this set A cross B, each having at least 3 elements. Okay, so in each subset we should have at least 3 elements. What do we mean by this? At least 3 elements. 3 elements or more than 3 elements we need. That means we have to consider subsets from 8C3 and onwards. That means 3 elements out of it, 4 elements out of it, and so on. So at least 3 elements, that means 3 elements or more than 3 elements we need in subsets. So we'll consider from 8C3 onwards. That means we need this sum only. Okay, so we must shift these 3 quantities to right side to get the answer for this question. So our answer is 8C3 plus 8C4 and so on up to 8C8 is what? 2 power 8 minus, we'll shift all these 3 to right side, so it will appear like this: 8C0 plus 8C1 plus 8C2. Okay, so this is our answer, but we need to simplify it. You know, 2 power 8 is what? 256. 256. Now I'm going to introduce you with one basic result, that NCR is n factorial upon r factorial into n minus r factorial. For the time being, just remember this result. We have to study it in detail in chapter permutation and combination. For the time being, just remember this: NCR equals to n factorial upon r factorial into n minus r factorial. This factorial is what? This factorial is one operator. The meaning of n factorial is continued product of n natural numbers without any gap. That means the meaning of 5 factorial, the meaning of 5 factorial is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Okay. The meaning of 4 factorial is continued product from 1 to 4. The meaning of 7 factorial, continued product from 1 to 7, like this. The meaning of 3 factorial is continued product from 1 to 3. And the only exception is the value of 0 factorial is 1. The value of 0 factorial is 1. This is the exceptional one because 0 is not a natural number. So as exception, you can just remember that 0 factorial is equals to 1. Apart from 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 4 factorial, and so on. So we can use this to find the value of these things. So 8C0 is what? 8C0 is 1. When you use this formula, you will get 8C1 as what? 8. Okay, I will explain the values for this. So how we can find 8C1? You can write 8C1. You can apply this formula, n factorial, that is 8 factorial upon r factorial into n minus r factorial. What is in place of r? We have 1. So 1 factorial into n minus r, that is 8 minus 1, 7 factorial. Okay, so this will be 8 factorial upon 1 factorial is 1 and 7 factorial. Can you consider this 8 factorial as product from 1 to 8, 1 into 2 into 3 up to 8, and this 7 factorial is 1 to 7. So up to 1 to 7 we can cancel out. What will get? 8 only. So that's why 8C1 is 8. Similarly, you can find 8C0, that is 1. Now you can evaluate 8C2. What is 8C2 here? 8 factorial, n factorial upon r factorial, that is what is r? 2 here, 2 factorial into n minus r factorial, that is 8 minus 2, 6 factorial. Right now. So this is 8 factorial. That means product from 1 to 8 continuously. 6 factorial, 1 to 6. So can you cancel it? 1 to 8, 1 to 6. So 1 to 6 तो cancel हो जाएगा. So what you'll get? 7 into 8 in numerator. And this is 2 factorial, that is 1 into 2, 2. So you can simplify. 2 4 ja 8 and 7 4 ja 28. So the value of 8C2 is what? 28. So this is 256 minus 28 plus 8, that is 36 plus 1 37. And then we can simplify. This is 9, 1 and 2. 219. That is, if you check it, choices 275, 510, 219, 256. So choice C, 219 is your correct answer. Okay. Thank you.